Hey garden nerds! Today is kind of a red letter day. Not kind of, it is a red letter day because I have behind me a giant gas bag and I'm so excited about this I can't even tell you. I've been waiting a long time to share this with you. Now what this is a home biogas digester. It takes food waste and animal manures and turns it into gas you can cook with or light a lamp with. And so since we live in earthquake territory where it's, very, very possible that we will end up off grid for 6 months minimum when the big one hits the fault line, we wanted to make sure that we're as close to off grid as possible, even though we live in the middle of Los Angeles. So being able to cook without natural gas or petroleum derivatives is really important to me. And the first step in doing that was getting the Home BioGas digester. Now, I'm not being paid to tell you about this. I bought it. I got in on a Kickstarter, and my husband was a little freaked out when he saw that it's oh so attractive because it's a giant gas bag, and it takes up about 9 feet wide and 9 feet long, 6 feet wide. So you do have to have space for it, and it has to be in full sun because that's part of the process. Heat helps build up the gas. So we fed this, first of all, we filled up the tank. This is the water tank down at the bottom. And instead of filling it with virgin pure water, we actually emptied our hot tub, which is 320-ish gallons, and it filled this whole thing up completely, no waste. So this is recycled water that's in here. We waited a few days to get the chlorine out of it, so there's no bacteria-killing chemicals in there at all. And then we attach this biogas bag on top, and there are sandbags, 48 sandbags that I filled with my own 2 hands, took about an hour, that go into these pockets in the green section up here. And then you feed it with horse manure or cow manure or pure manure that has to be fresh, like no more than 2 to 3 days old. So we did it wrong the first time and waited and nothing happened, and we thought we might have had a leak, but we were communicating very well with the Home BioGas folks in Tel Aviv, Israel, by the way. They're in Israel, so we're communicating, in different time zones overnight. And we finally figured out that the manure that we used was just too old and had too much bedding in it. So we called up a friend who had a horse, who's very clean about the way that she poops. And we put a fresh batch of manure in here, and within a week this thing is almost completely full. So today we hooked up the tube, which we have running along the back here just for testing. We're going to actually permanently install this. But here's how this works, just real quick so I can show you. You come over here, and this is where you feed. This is the mouth of the digester, and you put your food scraps in here, or your chicken manure, or your horse manure, or your cow manure, or goat manure, or rabbit manure, whatever, or your dog and cat manure, because you know how you can't compost most cat and dog feces because of the pathogen issue. You can put it in the biodigester. So this is the coolest thing, because I've been wondering what to do with all the cat poop, besides throwing it in the landfill in a plastic bag that never breaks down, right? So you feed it into here, you mix it with some water, make a slurry, pour it in, and then it goes into here, and the gas comes out the back end, and we're running it to a tube, and then we're gonna actually boil our first kettle of water right now. So this is the stove that came with the Home BioGas unit, and it has a gas burner that is retrofitted specifically for biogas. So you want to be sure that whatever you have that you're going to use to cook on has been outfitted with the proper modulation, or whatever you want to call it, for biogas, okay? So don't try this at home, kids. Now we have a clicker here in case this doesn't want to light, because biogas can be harder to light than other gases, but this has a starter on it. So I'm going to start it, and it lit! It lit. Now, because it's so bright out, we can't see the blue flame, but there's supposed to be a blue flame here. I see flame under there, and we're just going to wait and see what happens. We're probably going to have to get some kind of a wind break at some point to help keep it from doing, from blowing out. Now, the thing that's so cool about this biogas digester is when the bag is full, you get 3 hours of cooking fuel per day. So that's an hour for breakfast, an hour for lunch, an hour for dinner, if you even cook that much. So we're just going to boil this little kettle of tea for some tea and see what happens. It's like watching a kettle boil. See, there's steam coming out of our tea kettle. This is so exciting. Listen, listen. Yay! Well, that's the most exciting thing that's happened all day. We're cooking with biogas. So the whole point of this is to be as self-reliant as possible. And I know this costs money, and yes, you can go out and build your own biodigester from scratch if you want to. These guys have just made it easy. And they have this new piece, this new component, an add-on to the biogas digester, which is a composting toilet. So you could actually, build out an outhouse and have human manure fueling your biogas, and then you're cooking with human poop, which I know it sounds gross, but honestly, it's the most awesome and ultimate recycling there is. If you like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and click the little notification bell that lets you know the next time we have an awesome video like this that comes online. Happy gardening!